Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another episode, Dad's at Dark. Casey and Dakota here this week, and we're going to jump right into it. What do you got this week, Dakota?
I got a beer. That's what I got, baby.
Ooh,
You were
speaking of,
talking about
I should grab a beer.
cartoons. Talking
Yes.
about cartoons and the conspiracies behind them that adult conspiracies, I guess you could say. So let's discuss those. I only know a few. I just recently saw one about SpongeBob may possibly be former military, and pretty interesting, and a lot of stuff does make sense. And then there are a few pieces that's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, no, the Camp Coral shit, that's not boot camp because Sandy's there. He didn't meet Sandy until episode two. He didn't even know what the hell she was. Like, you remember he had to like he had to look up what she was. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like a Pokédex type thing or some shit. And it said land squirrel.
I think
It was a
so.
dictionary.
I
It was a
think you're
dictionary.
right.
That's what it was. He pulled a book out.
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah. What the hell I'm thinking of Pokédex? Oh, you said about Pokemon earlier. That's why you had a
Well,
conspiracy theory about Ash.
dude, there's so many, just for SpongeBob alone, there are so many good conspiracy theories. There's the Mrs. Puff is a murderer. There's Bikini Bottom is the result of a radioactive warhead going off in the ocean.
Oh yeah, well honestly, that would make sense.
It's
That
pretty
makes a
well
lot of
that one.
sense. And
There's
all of the houses and shit are old car mufflers and stuff.
mm-hmm.
Krusty Krab is a crab shack. The chum bucket's literally a bucket of chum that's
Yes,
been picked clean. I guess no, it's upside down. And no, it's not upside down. It's got a handle.
dude. So
Yeah, it's right
you know
side
how
up.
whenever we were kids, we thought seeing plankton eat the hologram was really sad.
But it's actually what they do. They eat. They
Yeah, it's
literally eat that.
yeah. Well, the UV rays is
Yeah.
basically it.
It's. I mean, essentially, that's what we perceive to be holographic.
But it's still we felt so bad for this cat whenever we were kids, and really, he was just eating good.
His wife was cooking the good stuff.
It really was. All right, but yeah, yeah, dude, there are so many good conspiracies for SpongeBob.
They really
But
are, and
my
they
favorite, my
are
favorite is the
limitless.
yeah. Oh, there really are. There's even one where Mr. Krabs is using his daughter for Krabby Patties.
I heard about the one where she's actually so she's always calling him daddy. That they're like in a relationship, and it's like DDLG type shit.
What?
And it was just, yeah, you never heard that one?
No,
I was just like,
no.
bro, that's nasty. You're just ruining my childhood at this point.
Well, I mean, most of the time, whenever you find conspiracies like this, they're on a list that say they're gonna ruin your childhood. But man, like
Yeah, that
that's
definitely
that's
does.
really that's uncalled for.
I have to find it. It's been a while since I saw that one. But yeah, it it definitely pertained to the DDLG community, and it was just like, okay,
I
all
don't even
right,
know. I don't even know what is DDLG community.
daddy dom little girl.
Oh no. Oh, why are there names like that for shit?
That's just everybody's got a kink. I mean,
Oh,
as long as they're legal,
mm, it makes me really
it's
uncomfortable.
it's. I agree. It's something. It's not definitely not for everybody. I'd say it's an acquired
I
taste for sure if you're just
no,
dipping your
bro.
toes, but
No, dude, there's no dipping your toes into something like that.
I agree. You're diving in head first, and then you're
Bro,
wondering, what the fuck did I get myself into?
that is one of those fucking really weird. fucking things that comes with a very, very high commitment.
I agree with that.
Like there's no way.
It's about to get turned into like fetishes and shit now.
Yeah, yeah, let's don't.
And you don't.
Yeah, Ken, you don't.
All right. Anyway, SpongeBob history. We got
I
a
was
little
just
off
saying,
topic.
yeah, we really did.
I
I
mean, it
will
was still kind
say,
of on topic because it was about crabs and Pearl. But
yikes.
that sounds nasty out of context.
Hmm, just that's weird now. That's a weird one.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to ruin that relationship for you.
Just fast forward anytime those two are in the same fucking scene.
He literally took her on a camping trip. You don't know what happened. It was just those two.
That's really gross.
Mhm. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Anyways.
anyway. Personally, my favorite one is that Mrs. Puff is a murderer.
Yeah, you were saying about that before we started recording. I'm curious on that.
Yeah, she is she's apparently a serial killer.
Details?
Um, three major keys like that are given away throughout the show is that we know she's from a different town and she used to have a different boating school, and Mrs. Puff is not her real name.
That is true.
Now, a big point in this is, she says whenever she gives SpongeBob his license, whenever she's finally just had it with him, she's like, everyone will know that I let him slide through school. And then it flips to that really sinister looking face, and she's like, no, not again.
Whenever she said about moving, changing the
Yeah,
towns.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the giveaway that she's not from Bikini Bottom originally. And
Yes.
then you also have her husband, which supposedly was taken by a fisherman and turned into a
Oh,
lamp. But I'm kind of wondering now if she might have actually taken him and then had that as a frame whenever the hook season was in season. Because Mr. Krabs literally he already experienced that. He knew that they knew they were coming,
oh.
and SpongeBob perceived that as the like a fair, typically happens every year. So I could definitely see Mrs. Puff framing her husband's murder.
That too. There's another actual, like, really, really big point in one of the newer episodes. Apparently, there's a scene where you see her going through files, and one of the files says Mrs. Puff.
Oh,
Like, like it's normal for teachers to have like files of their students and things like that. But why does she have a file of herself?
that is a little bit peculiar.
I mean, you gotta
I
remember,
apologize if
we
you hear
know
the dog
we know
shaking
that's
in
not
the
her real name.
background. Sorry, what?
I mean, I'm just saying we know that like that's not her real name.
Yeah, that we do. I don't even know if her real name was actually ever disclosed in the show.
To be honest.
um, fucking Whiff Wizard. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really odd to me though how much sense all of these fucking conspiracy theories can make, but they were kids shows.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to figure that it was also adults making the content. So they were probably conveying their message through those, which makes a lot of sense now. But a lot of this shit was also like 20 years ago, and we were just too young and naive to understand what they were trying to tell us.
Oh yeah, that's not the kind of stuff we thought about though.
No, absolutely. We thought it was just harmless fun.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Just we thought it was just unfortunate events that were made into a funny thing for us to laugh at.
Oftentimes they were, but I mean, there's also countless random clips where they go back and look at it a couple years later, like 10, 15 years later, and it is a totally different perspective and kind of makes you wonder like what was actually happening at that time that we were unaware of,
You
or
know,
even in the past. Like they could be telling something that happened like 50 years ago that maybe the news doesn't get across, but they hit it big and became a popular cartoon. So like, all right, let's start putting messages out there and let people know, even though it's subliminal.
that's actually something I wouldn't be surprised about.
I wouldn't either. That shit is
It's
hidden constantly throughout artwork.
well, I mean, it's just whatever narrative whoever has control wants to push.
Shit. Oh, I absolutely agree with that. And I mean, some of the I guess you could call them jokes in a way because it's really what it stems down to are so highbrow that it gets past them and they don't even realize that that message is getting put out there. So they're unable to censor it because they don't even know what's happening. But people who can comprehend the joke and understand what it pertains to are absolutely going to understand what the artist was trying to convey.
Yeah, and I I can agree with that point. But I'm just saying, like, who actually looks at a kids show this deeply and like pinpoints these exact facts that are like, you know what I mean? They are facts because they have proof that in the show, oh hey, it was either said here or something was shown in, whatever panel. Like, it's just craziness that people can take such little details and over time develop these theories that make so much sense.
I can tell you the exact people who do it though too. Autistics, baby. They notice in little details, and I'm almost 100% certain that at this point, almost everybody's got a little touch of the spectrum. It's a spectrum. It is an array of you got a percentage. Some people got it bad, some people got it mild. Like there's definitely a sweet spot. I mean, look like Bill Gates,
Dude,
autistic, and
you're
he's
making
rich
it
as
seem
shit.
dude, you're making it seem like it's an option at Taco Bell of what sauce you want.
It's pretty much what it is. I don't think Bill Gates is all that spicy though, so he'd probably just be the fucking mild sauce.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I
You
feel
just
like
look
that
at him.
dude's Diablo.
You think so? I
I
mean, he's
don't
smart
know.
as shit for sure, but
Oh my god, yeah. There's no doubt in any intelligence. I mean, I don't agree with everything that dude wants to do.
it just makes me laugh comparing comparing it to hot sauce packets.
Well, did you see also apparently, like, speaking of just ridiculous things, apparently Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are training to fight each other.
I did see that. I saw that like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, this is going to be
Isn't that
interesting if this
crazy?
happens.
I'm not gonna lie, I hope Elon Musk beats the shit out of Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck that guy.
I feel like Zuckerberg's probably going to kick his ass, so he's kind of in shape. Elon's he's a little chunk. He's got like that fucking well, I mean, I guess the best I could compare it to is one of those drunk dudes on that dock in Alabama. They got their ass beat. He's kind of that shape.
Hey, some of those guys come out of left field and they surprise you.
You're not wrong. I don't
Just
know.
gonna put that out there now. But yeah, I'm rooting for Musk. Go Elon. Zucker put me in fucking Facebook jail one too many times for stupid reasons.
I just fucking thought of the long version of his name, elongated muskrat. Fucking shit. Oh, oh, we got way off topic again.
Hey, it happens. This is how this podcast was originally supposed to go.
Oh yeah, I mean this typical conversation. Really, this is just normal banter amongst us.
Some people like to listen to us ramble on.
I feel like it's just us.
I mean,
I typically do give it a listen every week, just for shits and giggles. Plus, I have a lot of downtime at work. A bitch. Getting our ass beat now.
um, yeah, I really haven't had much downtime at work lately.
Well, you've been working your ass off.
No, I babysit people that are older than me. Oh, actually, not all of them, but there's there's definitely people that need to be watched closer than others.
Oh, I agree with that, especially after today. We'll get to that in a bit, though.
Oh, will we?
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting evening.
Oh, God. Evening,
Um,
you say?
evening, I say.
Well, then, I mean, I'm definitely interested to hear this now. Little drama.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was drama. That, I mean, maybe for some of the people involved, aside from myself. But for anybody that doesn't know that listens to this shit, I do security, and the shit that I did today was way different than what I normally do. I got to go and protect a pride event.
Aw, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open minded. I got nothing against it. Love is love.
Yeah,
Do what you
that's all
do.
good and dandy.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I got no judgment on that. You gonna do what you're gonna do behind closed doors? I mean, I don't care. It's not affected my life. One of my
It
favorite
doesn't.
comedians literally said and put it in perspective for me that listen, it's not fucking up traffic, and it's not costing you anything. So what are you pissed about? Like, it's not like it's being held on a Wednesday at 5 in the afternoon in the highway. You got to be there, and you got to pay for it.
Pretty fair point.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then I was essentially
Actually,
protecting
I like
the
that
event
analogy,
from
though.
protesters. Yeah, right. Like it's not hurting nothing. I don't understand that shit. That's literally one of the first things that I said. Upon I literally entered the event before I even met the contact that I was supposed to be linking up with,
Oh,
and I was just looking around like this. I'm gonna have a good day. This looks awesome. Looks peaceful. Looks fun. And I said that to the guys, like, I don't understand why there's protesters. Like, there's nothing happening here. It's not like there's people walking around with their dicks out and stuff.
Well, like,
And
what did they do? Like,
oh,
what was their
it was a drag show and all of that too, but it was tasteful. There was nothing wrong about that at all. And honestly, it was entertaining. They had like a couple 5 minute segments where the hosts, who were also drag queens, would banter with the crowd and crack jokes and shit like that. And some of the jokes were actually pretty damn funny.
cool, I guess. I'm still not gonna say that's my cup of tea, but I guess
No,
somebody enjoys it.
it's not for everybody for sure. And I have to admit, if I hadn't been working a security detail, I probably would have never experienced it. But I'm happy that I did. And the protesters is really what the fucking problem is. Like they
Like, there
just
was a
oh there was a bunch. There were so many protesters. We had between the protesters and then a random crowd of kids. Like they had to have been high schoolers. They were video interviewing with the vendors, asking them what their thoughts were on the event and why they were there and shit like that. Before we could get to them, they had ended up leaving the event. But once we discovered, like literally discovered that that's what they were doing as they were walking out, so there ain't shit we could have done.
so I mean, I don't know. I guess that's really not anything to complain about, though.
No, no,
It's not
yeah,
really
that's
harmful, I feel like.
it's not. But a couple of the vendors were complaining, and that's how we found out. We're not trying to be dealing with this right now. We're trying to run a business, and I can understand that.
Yeah, that is pretty fair, though, too.
Yeah, I can completely understand from their perspective. And I was just trying to do my job, but those ones got away. I didn't actually get to kick anybody out myself, but there was one guy. I don't know if the police were involved, but he was escorted out, and he was with the protester group across the street and tried to come back in about an hour before the end of the event. And there was a guard right there. He said he started across the street, saw the guard turn around and walked back.
Oh, wow. That's ballsy.
He was handing out these cards that were tie dyed with pride written big on them, and then in real tiny faint letters it said what happens after, and on the back it just had a whole bunch of just yeah, I guess homophobic biblical shit. People who don't understand to let people alone because that's essentially what Jesus wanted if you really fucking learn about him and understand.
The same people that go around preaching only God can judge me.
Yeah, yeah, essentially. There's some dude with an acoustic guitar. They were honestly, it kind of made me think of the cult in Far Cry 5 because they were singing the fucking Jesus chants and stuff. And I'm not religious. I can respect it, but there's to a point where it's a bit much.
Hmm. Yeah, I have no problem with religion. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't generally really think about anything in that realm of the world.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think it's just how I was brought up. I mean, I got baptized and all that. I got baptized late as hell, but I got it done.
Dude, I'm literally an ordained minister. So I don't know, man. It's more so the type of people that go there. And it's just in my experience, the people that a lot of people that, are always trying to present themselves as these upstanding people and, always have to throw out the, religion. well,
Yep,
we're good Christian or Baptist or whatever, it may be.
that's all hearsay though.
It's just no, it's just as soon as somebody
Prove
throws
that
that
you're
out there,
good.
yeah, because I'm sorry, just practicing a religion does not make you a good person.
Nope, nope. That's the same thing as like fucking. Really good comparison. I was gonna say practicing in fucking knife skill or something. Like, yeah, you'll get good at that, but that doesn't mean you're not still a dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's what you practice does not actually, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Religious practices are not the definition of if you're a good person or not.
No, they definitely are not. And personally, oh shit, I'm sorry, I stole that. Personally, if you don't swear when you talk to me, I'm gonna perceive that you're probably rude behind people's back because that
Wait,
has more or less been the fucking case, and you hate to fucking see it. And unfortunately, it's a lot of the older generation. There are a few that are like cool as shit, and absolutely, I'd converse with them any fucking day of the week. Just you name it, name the time, I'll talk to you. And then there are ones that are like, I fucking loathe that I have to talk to you because you're just going to be racist or some shit like that. And I'm not about that. Typically, it's whenever it's one on one, though. They're not going to do that shit when there's a bunch of people around.
I don't know. I feel like working at the gas station, I'm able to profile people a lot better than I used to be.
Oh, I guarantee you that.
Just like I was telling you about the little racist old lady last week. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, you were.
Dude, I'm sorry, but she fit that exact stereotype. Like she had the cross on, the whole 9 yards. Like just I maybe that's a bad habit I'm picking up. I don't know.
I
But that
don't think
lady would
so.
profiling's wrong.
I mean, it is, and you shouldn't judge it unless judgment needs to be applied. And in situations that it needs to be applied, I would say are typically when there's potential danger. I guess you could say. Oh, I definitely deserve a personal pan for
See,
that.
honestly, I really you would think being right off the highway, I would have to worry. I really don't. Like it's really just who's gonna act like a douchebag for some dumbass reason today. That's
Yep, yep. Them's people. I get to experience that with truckers here soon.
dude, honestly, truckers are the biggest dicks.
Oof. Yeah, they can be,
They
and
have
they're
the biggest
some of
fucking
them are fucking
attitudes, man.
nasty as shit too. Fucking throwing bags of shit outside a guard shack. That's nasty as fuck.
Piss jugs.
Oh yeah, that's sorry, buddy. That too. But I think I'd rather deal with a piss jug than a fucking grocery bag full of shit.
Yeah, nah, because a lot of the times they use like shitty old fucking milk jugs that the lids don't really
Ew.
yeah, you
Like
get
they
what I'm
can't afford a
saying?
Gatorade bottle, bro. Like what the hell?
Basically,
Put that wide mouth on it so you can fucking penetrate the jug.
it's ridiculous, man. But yeah, but I mean, I think they're both equally gross.
Oh, they definitely are.
But anyway, so would you like to hear any more of these fucking cartoon conspiracy fan theories.
Yes, yes, because we got kind of sidetracked for about 10 minutes.
Dude, we really did. We really did. This is what the people come here for. Side tracking. Dude, we should
Sidetracking.
that should be our next poll. How many times do you think we get sidetracked?
Tell me in the fucking chat.
before
It's gonna happen a
before
lot.
I edit.
Yeah, right.
Because that's a fair guesstimate then.
Is
Um, so did you like Ed, Ed and Eddie whenever you were a kid?
yes, yes, I did.
Well, have you ever heard the fan theory that their whole cul-de-sac is purgatory?
I did not.
It's it's a pretty good one to be completely honest. The
I'm genuinely curious on this.
so basically, according to this theory,
Now back it
uh
up into.
say I want to focus up for this one, but anyway, according
Oh,
to
you're good. We
the
don't have to start this right away.
uh, so the Ed and Eddie theory is that the children of the cul-de-sac each hail from different eras spanning from the 1900s to the early 2000s.
Honestly, that kind of makes
And
sense.
honestly, though, but if you think about it, that kind of makes it, you never really know what time era to pinpoint that show in. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes a little sense.
True, because cul-de-sacs have been existent for quite a while.
All right. And apparently, so here is here's more into this. So apparently Rolf was the first one to arrive, and his family moved to Peach Creek in order to establish a farm. And Rolf died around 1903 when his family's farm animals stampeded and like trampled him to death.
Hmm.
And this is the supposed reason as to why he has only one cow, one goat, and some pigs and some chickens
Honestly,
in
that
his
kind of makes
supposed
sense.
afterlife. The next person, and this one is kind of interesting, Johnny 2 by 4.
Hmm.
And it wasn't long after Rolf.
Really?
Um, yeah, apparently Johnny took, and apparently, because Johnny having no friends, took a marker and drew the face on Plank, and that was his best friend. And, they're saying such behavior is considered unusual in modern times. Um, I guess back in that time era, it was just considered simple childhood innocence. But apparently his death was in 1922. Oh man, after a after fight and a loss with tuberculosis.
Damn.
Wow. And yeah, well, he took Plank into the afterlife with him.
Suicide pact.
Shit. All right.
This is getting
So,
dark.
here's all right. So Eddie was the third one. Eddie was from New York City and moved to Peach Creek during the Great Depression era. So that explains why he was always trying to make money.
Yeah.
Um, and that really ties into all the scams and shit like that he tried to pull in the show.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. Scams did originate from fucking city folk. That's make me sound like a fucking redneck. I mean, I am, but I ain't trying to make myself sound more like one.
Well, and I mean, it's also saying here that he didn't have a proper father figure since his real father abandoned him and his
Wasn't there an episode where his father, it was just like his arm though, but didn't he like abuse the shit out of him in that episode?
see, I don't know, but there
He was like
rest
in fear or something, I thought.
the rest of this might explain this, but it's saying that his father abandoned him and his mother did too shortly after he was born.
Wow. Talk about Great Depression, huh?
Well, hey, whoa. All right, so this might be what you were talking about. Um, and with that came the big bro that he adored and idolized so very much,
I know he
despite
was
the
in an
latter's
episode.
abusive nature.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and that's what made me think. I'm pretty sure I don't really remember the episode with his dad though. I'd have to go back and watch the series. But I'm pretty sure they had him illustrated. It was like he was never on screen, kind of like the father on Kids Next Door. You only ever
Yep,
seen part of him.
yep, like his silhouette, basically.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yep.
this guy, all you seen was his fucking arm, and his arm was like massive.
All right. Well, next on the list was Ed and Sarah.
Ed and Sarah.
Yes, their father died in World War II, and as a
Oh,
result,
okay, okay. I'm thinking, Double
no,
D.
no, no, Ed and Sarah, because
Hmm.
they're brother and sister. So
It
apparently,
took me a sec to get the correlation.
and after their father died, their mother basically just disconnected from them. So that's where Sarah developed her bossy attitude, trying to fill the role of their parents.
As soon as you said bossy, I
Um,
could just hear her fucking screaming Jimmy's name.
yes. Well, and this actually kind of makes sense too because it's saying here Ed shut the world out and just dove into like comic books and monster movies.
That actually sounds
And
accurate.
it said they both died in a freak car accident in 1953. And next on the list was Naz.
Hmm.
Um
I think
wow.
that's who I was thinking originally because isn't Double D's once got a crush on Naz, right? I
Wow.
think pretty much all of them do,
Naz
except
got
for
Naz got murked by a serial killer in 79.
wow.
That's fucked up. Uh, and next on the list is Double D. Double D apparently died from a gas leak explosion on his chemistry set because he fell asleep because of his parents pushing him too hard.
That honestly makes a lot of sense too. All the sticky notes and shit of like do this and do that, don't do this, and having everything labeled. I know there was a bit of speculation on that too, whereas he doesn't actually have parents and he wrote those notes himself as a way to cope with that. I don't know the exact details on it, but I think that was about like that was the basis of it.
Like this is
Definitely,
just,
it's interesting.
dude, this is super interesting. All right, and then Kevin comes next. Said he was born in the 80s in a broken down house and had an abusive father who was poorly educated, and his mother had passed away when he was only a year old. Um,
That would
and that,
explain him being a bully too.
yep. And, and
A lot of explaining
saying,
going on here.
hold on one second.
Mhm.
basically, so it was saying that, Kevin grew up in a really broken home. Dad was abusive, and, he was always fascinated with his bike. And he was apparently, in this timeline, one of the founders of the X Games.
There's
Um,
that. I can see
yeah,
it.
that's pretty cool. But apparently, one night in the winter of 1999, his fatherly fatally beat him in a fit of drunken rage, and he died while he was on his way to the hospital. And then his father was and sentenced to life in prison.
See, there's deserving.
Huh. So Jimmy came after Kevin. Now he was the last one to enter the cul-de-sac, and he was born in the early 90s, diagnosed with leukemia. Jesus.
Damn, fucking Jimmy can't catch a break. First he's got that
Dude, they
ugly ass
fucked him
headgear.
over. That's terrible.
He got done dirty. And he's dead. And he still looks like that.
Yeah.
That's
But
fucking mean.
dude, there's some other things down here. Now they have a whole separate section on the Kanker sisters.
I was gonna say, I'm curious what happened to them.
All right, so this is pretty wild. Apparently the cankers were different from the other neighborhood cankers were different from the other neighborhood children. They believe that they are actually demons that were sent to the cul-de-sac to torment the souls of all the kids who didn't cross over into heaven. Wow. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so this is kind of cool. They're saying the cankers are the only characters with normal colored tongues, which would seem to
Yeah.
indicate they're not dead.
Yeah, that is true because the others have like green and blue tongues.
It says there, so it also says the cankers are attracted to the Eds for unknown reasons. However, one of the more common guesses is that they are the weakest willed children of the cul-de-sac, or because they are supposed to symbolize a certain, like, deadly sin.
Could very well be. I thought that the reason why their tongues were different colors was from jawbreaker stains.
Ooh, but this is actually something else they also have another like kind of I guess it's not another theory, but it's just more background information on it. But they think that the Cankers came from like the same era as Naz because they said she had like hippie parents, which that's kind of cool. But I guess they all had the same mother, different fathers, and I guess out of madness, desperation, and dabbling in fringe cults, their mother killed them and then herself in like a really brutal way. And wow, that's why they're believed that that could be the reason they're demons. They do
That
make
is
a
a
they
fucking
do
solid
highlight
theory.
they do highlight a lot of good theories to back it up though. Like all the children in the cul-de-sacs either have blue or green tongues. And when you die, your tongue does turn blue.
Yeah, yeah, it's because the your blood's not flowing no more, so it stays stagnant.
I mean, that's
Don't have oxygen going into your stream anymore, and it's going to turn blue because it's only red whenever it hits oxygen.
that's
Chemistry.
just dude, whoever put all that together, like how do you
If it
what?
was just one person, though, I don't know. It could have been a group of people, and then kind of like what we're doing now, piecing shit together because it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it given what I remember of the show, yeah, it does make sense given their personalities and all that. It's just like,
I cannot remember the last time I watched the show, but I can tell you that it's probably been about a week since I whistled the tune. It's hard not to. It's just too catchy.
you're not wrong.
It's one of them ones you just mindlessly whistle while you're doing something, like, "Oh, I'm cooking eggs." Just fucking add any theme song, baby. Get
Yeah,
it rolling.
get it rolling. I just, dude, there's so many that are like, when you actually sit and think about it, you're like, damn, like this is kind of, this is making sense to me.
That's honestly kind of neat, though. Just sit back and look back on things that we watched as kids, and then kind of put things together like that. Even though a lot of them are dark, like the theory behind Courage the Cowardly Dog, where he is imagining everything and he's still homeless.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of detail on that one. I seen that somewhere and was just like, that kind of does make sense. Everything was made, or no, it was that one, and then there was another one where Muriel made everything, and Courage was actually dead, but she would still pretend that he was alive and tend to him and shit like that.
Wow. This is just another quick one I saw about SpongeBob.
Oh, back to the Bob,
Dude,
Sponge Boy me Bob.
yeah, SpongeBob Me Bob, everybody is representing one of the seven deadly sins.
Oh yeah.
Uh, oh,
Let me grab a beer real quick before we dive into this one. I'm
yeah,
curious.
this is kind of cool. I like this one. So you ready to hear how SpongeBob is well, SpongeBob characters are representing the fucking seven deadly sins.
Yes, yes, I am.
All right, so Pearl is greed.
Makes sense.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Pearl is lust. Or no, SpongeBob is lust because
What?
he has a lust for life, dude.
Okay, okay, that makes sense then.
Uh, but this could also be translated into Pearl because she is obsessed with males. Mr. Krabs is definitely greed.
Oh, 100%. I was gonna say between Mr. Krabs and Pearl, because Pearl wants everything, and it's kind of ironic. Like that also correlates to what I was saying earlier about her, her and him being in a relationship,
Yeah,
because he doesn't ever want to spend the money, and she wants everything.
that is pretty true.
And there was
Uh,
a line where he said something along like that he would do anything to keep her happy, and just he had no problem spending money.
I don't know if that's so much of a greedy thing though, but
No, no, but it correlates to the shit earlier.
no,
It's
it
still
does.
strange, but hey, to each their own.
I like that I like this one. Sandy is pride.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
Patrick is sloth.
I should have seen that one.
I mean, that one's complete. That makes all the sense in the world.
It really does.
Gary and Mrs. Puff are gluttony.
What do you do all day when I'm at work? Wait for you to get home.
Plankton is envy.
Yeah.
Squidward is wrath.
All right, Mr. Squidward. I'll see you after your break. Oh shit.
Dude, there's a lot of really good ones on here. Like just floating around the internet, man. Like the Rugrats. Uh all the babies were basically just hallucinations of Angelica's PTSD because these these poor kids, man, this is really dark. But
Yeah.
basically, we all thought that she is just a moody little kid and very spoiled. But
I'd say hated by some people, honestly.
dude, I mean as a kid I hated her. Every
I
time she was
agree.
on every time she came on screen, I'm like, man, this
Here comes this
poor
bitch again. Fuck.
basically. Dude, she was such a little asshole.
My
But this
7 year old just drinking my sippy cup.
dude, seriously, this makes you feel bad for her.
7 year old with a sippy cup, though.
Because apparently Chucky died with his mother in that car crash. And that's why his father's always worried about him in the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They said Tommy was a stillborn, and that's why Stu's always making toys for the son he never had. And they're saying Phil and Lil were like just a projection of an aborted baby. And since they were never revealed what gender the baby was, she just portrayed them as identical twins.
Kinda fucked up.
Dude, it's really fucked up. It makes you feel bad for Angelica.
Ah, PTSD aside, she's still a twat.
But that would still like the only the only real plot hole I see in this one was the all grown up shit.
Yeah,
Do you remember that? They had
yeah,
the little
yeah.
in
I
the
don't know how long
movie.
that lasted, but I do remember watching it. And then they had a couple of like, I guess you could say movies like the whenever holidays would come around, like, oh, it's fucking all grown up Halloween special or some shit like that.
They did have a few of those.
I
I
won't
don't
lie, I
remember
used
how
to watch
many. Oh, I did too. I did too. There's nothing wrong with that.
it. No, absolutely not.
And I think with that, we're gonna call it an evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. We'll be back next week, just like always. You know, and if you want to see us grow, or you want to hear, or actually, yeah, I fucked that all up. Disregard that. But
It's all good.
don't be afraid to leave your feedback, guys. We're definitely not opposed to any like constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Because we're obviously new to this still, things like that. But, and also, if you're just enjoying it, man, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad to come laugh at a bunch of idiots you went to high school with. I mean, what's
that's,
the worst that
that's
could happen?
that's pretty accurate, though. Honestly.
It is. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You did a good thing for some fucking idiot you went to high school with. But anyway, with that, I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll catch you again later on. Toodles.
Love you later. Bye.